Hi everyone, welcome to your leadership training. We are jumping into part 3. So part 3 is two main focuses. Last week we gave a lot of information and we talked about building systems and making your plans and deciding like how you're going to build your team and what you're going to do with your team. As it grows, your systems will tweak and change as needed, as you see fit. But we covered a ton. Remember I said there's going to be some serious nuts and bolts as we move forward. The very last system was welcoming in your new recruits. And I wanted to give that a lot more time. So I broke it out and we're doing it today. I also want to talk to you about inspiring your hobbyists. One thing I hear all the time, like if I had a nickel for every time I heard this, I'd have a really huge piggy bank. But I always hear from leaders, but I have all hobbyists. And they say, but I have all hobbyists. And my team is all hobbyists. I don't do meetings because I have all hobbyists. I don't do any business training because I have all hobbyists. I hear it all the time. And my response is, you have all hobbyists because you treat them like all hobbyists. So, and you will be in that vicious circle that will never end. You will never have anything but all hobbyists if that's how you treat your team. So, it's a little bit of you got to break the mold. Like you have to break that vicious cycle. And we're going to talk about how you, number one, valuing hobbyists, okay? They are extremely important. So when I say that I have a majority team of hobbyists, that is true for everybody. And hobbyists can still produce a lot of sales, a lot. So I would venture to think 80% of my team sales income comes from hobbyists. So there is a huge value to them. And so sometimes we just write them off because they're personal purchasers instead of realizing how much people can purchase and how they can influence their friends in purchasing and how they can actually really support you. So hobbyists are incredibly important to your team. So what we're going to, there's my air conditioner. I'm not going to turn it off because I'll get super sweaty and I don't want to get sweaty. So anyway, we're going to talk about how do we help transition hobbyists into more of a business-minded demonstrator. I don't use the word business-minded a lot with hobbyists because that's a really scary term. I'm using that with you because you might understand. I usually use the term money-making hobby because that is, people always want to stay a hobbyist. They don't want to build a business. But boy, would they sure love to make some money doing it. So that's the term that I use with my team, and I'll probably use here with you so you understand. How do we develop money-making hobbyists? So that's what and then eventually we will develop people who want to build a business. You can, they are out there, trust me. They don't fall in your lap though, and you will attract people that you are like. So I do probably attract some more business-minded people because I treat my business like a business and I talk about it like a business. And so people who are looking for, their crafting being a business are probably going to be more attracted to me or someone like me or someone who takes their business seriously than somebody who is just playing. So you have to be very vocal and open about the fact that you love your business, you love your money-making hobby and how you can help teach and inspire people to do that same thing. So I do agree that eventually you will attract people that are like you. And so that is just normal. That's just a kind of a normal thing. I do know a lot of downline, upline groupings, and just because of the role I get to play as a part of my training program. And it's really funny how I see a lot of similarities between uplines and downlines. And I think a lot of it's because as an upline, we attract people who are very similar to us. Not always, but as the majority. So those are two things that we're going to cover. I am doing a separate video about running team meetings because they are so important. so important, and they're the backbone of your training. They're the backbone of your building your community. They're the backbone of everything. And so team meetings are extremely important um, for you to attend and for you to hold. So we're going to cover that in a separate video because I want it, and it's not, I'm hoping for it to not be that long, but I want to make sure that I go through an agenda with you and parts that a meeting should have in it. So you can look for that separately. All right, I am doing this via video, just you and I sitting here working together and chatting together because I think I did a really thorough job on the handbook. So if you're following along with me, you follow along with a handbook, everything is already written out. So I don't think you really needed a PowerPoint presentation. Last week, the handbook was just more of an outline, and then this week I think I pretty much put everything I'm going to say in the handbook. Now, of course, you're going to want to take notes because I might, as I talk, something just fly out of my mouth that might be a little extra bonuses for you, but the majority of what I want to say is in the handbook. So the first thing is welcoming new recruits is probably, I want to venture to say, the most important aspect of your business, your team. Because if you don't get them welcomed in and engaged, then there's no opportunity for you to be able to influence them to be future leaders and promotions for you. So we need to start with step one, and that's actually growing your business. Growing your team is just as much about bringing new people in as keeping the ones that you have. And so when you welcome in a new recruit and she feels welcomed and engaged and valued, and that you do have value to your team, that they'll stay around longer. They'll stay active. I have so many, and I'm sure all of you have team members that continue to buy their $300 a quarter just because they could never imagine not having the Rubber Queen family in their life. Like, these are their best friends and family members, and so I'm sure a lot of them just buy to stay a part of that, and that's powerful. So we need to, in order to be able to have that, we need to engage people from the very, very beginning. And so it's growing a team, truly growing a team is just as much, let me say that one more time so it really makes sense to you. It's just as much about bringing in new people as it is keeping the people that you have. So it's both. If you're just managing who you've got, you're going to be in trouble and you won't grow. If you're just always bringing in new people and then letting people do whatever they want once they join, you're going to be in trouble too. So we need to do both. We need to have a constant flow of new people coming in and then engaging them into a family, into a community, into a system where they're going to want to stay and not leave. So the first part, though, is making these new people feel welcome, especially if your team is established and if it's been around or if people know each other. It's really daunting for new people to try to break into that. It is like it's a club that they don't belong to yet. So you really have to make a point to welcome your new recruits so that they feel welcomed and valued right away, and that they know how to engage with each other and with you, and obviously with Stampin' Up. I want them to connect just as much with Stampin' Up as with me too, and with the entire team. It's a family you're building. It's a community that you're building. But the first time people come into that, it's really overwhelming, and you feel uncomfortable. It's the same as if you've ever, like the first time I went to go meet my husband's family. You know, they all knew each other, cousins, and I was very much, on edge and didn't know anybody and didn't feel comfortable until I had someone who, of course I had Eric, my husband, but that was my only tie-in. But then I had like a sister come over and welcome me in, and then I had another family member welcome me in, and then each time I would gather with them, I felt more and more comfortable. So where now I'm like, I'm a part of that family, like I am a part of that family, but it took time to gather that. So we want to get them welcomed in and engaged as soon as possible. Then they'll become a valuable part of your team. Much of this has to do with getting your recruits off to a strong start. and engaging them as soon as possible. So we want to, again, whenever something is so important, we want to set up a system so that it's something you just have to maintain. It's not something that you have to actually like think about and do and worry about it. Like I don't worry about it anymore because I have systems in place that should cover all of these aspects. So the first thing, there's a couple things I want to start off by saying. Number one, I treat all of my new recruits the same, regardless as to why they joined. I don't even ask them why they joined. It doesn't matter to me. I have hobbyists that joined that have turned out to be some of the most incredible demonstrators and business builders. And I've had people who joined to say, I'm going to build this huge business and be online, and I've got all the resources, I'm doing it all. And then 3 months later, they dropped. So I've had both. I don't judge anybody by what they say. I treat them all the same. Everyone gets the same system for me when they join. So first, let me explain to you something. I think this is a mental thing that we have to grasp. Everyone is a hobbyist. Every one of us. We all are. I'm a hobbyist. You're a hobbyist. We all love this hobby. We all do. So when everyone joins, we don't want to tagline someone and say you're just a hobbyist. I'm a hobbyist too. Like I love this hobby so much. What we do with our hobby can evolve and change. It's not like you come in and you have to like state, I'm a hobbyist and that's all I'm ever going to do. Or I'm a business builder and that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter. It's going to evolve. It's going to change. People who come in with a business, things might change and they might go back to being a hobbyist. People mostly that come in as a hobbyist might get a little fun bug and decide that they want to actually build a business. And so that changes and evolves over the years. What we want to do is create a path to encourage that evolvement, that they will evolve into somebody who wants to be to have a money-making hobby. A reason to stamp. We're going to cover so many things that can encourage hobbyists that will help your team grow and feel the value of every single person. So this is the deal. We want to create a path for our team members that will encourage evolvement from a hobbyist to a money-making and financially and emotionally rewarding hobby. So go ahead, use the word hobby, use the word hobbyist, but lump yourself into that too. So what we're going to start off with is welcoming system for new recruits, and we're going to talk about engaging and motivating your hobbyists. We're going to actually give like step-by-step things to do this. But before I do that, I want to take a little section here and talk about recruiting. And obviously I've trained on recruiting and they're like hour-long trainings. So this is just going to be a 5-minute recruiting. But you personally, as the leader, set the example. You need to continually recruit, always recruiting and sharing the opportunity. That is very important. If you're not actively recruiting, then your team is never going to. And you want to be very sharing and open and vocal about the fact that you are recruiting. And so I'm going to give you some recruiting tips to help you continually recruit. These are just some tips that I try to come up with some really concise, effective ones. So number one, you're going to share it with everyone. Everyone gets offered the opportunity. Again, we're not ever going to prejudge. So you need to offer it to everyone. Your team is truly the best place for your stampers and your customers to be. It's the best place we have so much, again, we have fun. It's the best place. If anybody truly loves to stamp, being a part of my team is the best place for them. They're going to get the most support. They're going to get the discount. They're going to have tons more ideas and sharing and support. So we want everyone to eventually become a part of our team. It's the best place for stampers to be, and I believe that, so I'm very open about sharing it. So if you believe that, then you'll openly share that with your customers and best spenders as well. You will grow your community. You will grow your team, which is, remember, this is a community that you're building. You will grow it by continually adding new people. So you need to continually recruit. So number one, do an email about the starter kit every single month. Not just once, but every month. you're going to do an email about it. Now, the email doesn't have to look the same. So one month it'll be, hey, do you want a discount? Buy the starter kit. The next month it may be, hey, do you want to pre-order out of the new catalog? We get to come join, buy the starter kit. Hey, do you want, the whatever special is during celebration? Or, hey, do you want to come to my team meetings and do this and do that? Well, then, hey, join my team. So every month you can bring a different aspect to the starter kit, but be emailing about it every month. And don't stick it in a newsletter down at the bottom. That's not what I'm talking about. People will say, oh, I do email about it every week, or I email every month. But it's like a tagline or an afterthought in an email. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a specific email just about the starter kit. The title is just about the starter kit. Don't lump it into anything else. So always. Number 2, talk about your team often on everything that you do, on Facebook Lives, on videos, at your classes. Anybody who knows me or follows me knows my team name is the Rubber Queens. I talk about them all the time. We talk about our swapping, our meetings that we do, our gatherings. I talk about everything all the time because I want people to want to be a part of it. And of course, I love my team and I do tons of things with them. So I want to share that to make other people want to be a part of that. So talk about it often. It needs to be like every video that you do. Make sure you're talking about your team. Any swapping that you do with your team, anything you do with your team, talk about it, share it, show it. Number 3, have a benefits page on your blog. So a benefits page is just a place where people can read about the benefits of joining Stampin' Up, the benefits of joining your team, and then the link to join. What's important about this is every time I do an email, every time I mention my team, anytime, I can hyperlink right to that page. And so if anybody is curious, what is a Rubber Queen? They can click on it and it'll take them, boom, what is a Rubber Queen and what do you get for being one? I hyperlink it all the time. So people will read about it. They'll probably think about it, and then the next time I actually do an email or the next time Stampin' Up has a special, they jump on it. So have a benefits page. I will share with you mine as a sample. So there's better ones out there than mine. Mine is just really simple, but it fits the basic need. And you list the benefits that people get when joining your team. Benefits can be a team meeting, team incentives and challenges, training support, creative support, whatever your benefits are, you can share those. Now, you are not allowed to value add to the starter kit, so you can't say, buy the starter kit and I'll give you a class. Can't do that. But anybody who joins my team and buys a starter kit, they have access to all of my online classes. So it's not like I'm bribing on, that's my training, and that's a benefit that I give to the people who join my team. So you see there's a difference there. Okay, number 4. Post about the starter kit on whatever social media platform you use or blogging at least once a month. If you did blogging, I would do a post about it. Again, don't lump it in anything else, just the starter kit. And then I'd also do at least one post a month on your Instagram and then also like your Facebook groups and pages. And just show a picture of product and say, do you want this for 25% off? Join my team. Buy the starter kit. I don't say become a demonstrator. I don't say join Stampin' Up. Those words are kind of scary. It's more about joining my team, buying the kit, getting a discount. Those kind of things are much warmer words and more friendly words and not so scary. So that's at least once a month. So if you're doing email and you're doing a blog post and you're doing a social media post, you're covering it. Don't do it all in the same week. Separate those out. So every week you're just slowly dripping the information out there for people. Number 5 is to personally offer it to your best customers and your big spenders. So personally, again, you're doing your blog post, you're doing your Facebook post, you're doing your email. So you're planting all the seeds, and then your personal invitation is going to be way more powerful. They're probably going to have read one of those things, so they're going to understand, but they're not going to think it pertains to them. They're happy being your customer. They don't want to join Stampin' Up. But when you personally offer them the starter kit, they're like, "Oh, really? Like you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, you spend so much, it's worth it for you. You would save enough off that one order that would pay for your starter kit. You might as well buy it." So a lot of demonstrators are very scared to recruit their best customers and their big spenders, and that is because you're focusing on you. So don't focus on you. Focus on what's best for them, and then it'll come back to you. My big spenders that I recruit end up being like my best big spenders as demonstrators, and they're qualifying and promoting, and they're happy, and they're going to stay longer with me doing it that way. So they make phenomenal, great hobby demonstrators as a part of your team. And some of them switch to becoming a money-making hobby too. So, but you have to personally offer to them. So text them, call them, email them, but with a personal, that it's, "Hey, you, I'm thinking about you," not just a blanket. Number 6 is to personally offer the opportunity to people who do love to craft and are talented. If I have a talented customer, I'm like, "Oh boy, that is being wasted. We need you on our team. Like, I want you sharing on our group, and I want you sharing with people, and like you can make money doing that." Or just anybody who is talented that is not a demonstrator, I'm always like, "Bring your talent to me. I want to use it," and plaster it all over for everybody to see. So you want to, again, personally offer it to them. And lastly, share the link to join your team at least once a month. So you need to share that link. Share it, again, at least once a month, but you're going to attach. So I will just say, "Hey, here's the link to join my team," because people will sometimes go back through your blog posts, or they'll go back through your Facebook posts, and they could click it. You never know. So share that link often. So that's a little bit about recruiting and how you can increase your own recruiting and become a natural part of your business, and not just recruiting when Stampin' Up! Does a special. So let's jump into welcoming in our new recruits, okay? Here's a system, and I actually have them numbered, so you can number them as well. And your system might even look different than mine, but these are just some of the things that I personally do and train on and teach, and have adapted over the years. So first of all, I treat all new recruits the same, not just because of why they joined, which I already said that, but and the big thing is you want to do your welcoming as soon as you can, because you want to hit them while their fire is hot. So like when a fire is hot, it burns bigger and brighter, and everything you throw on there will keep burning. If you let it kind of just simmer and let it go, it starts to not burn as well or be as powerful. So we want to throw fuel on the fire while it's hot, so it continues to keep burning longer and brighter, okay? Just hopefully that makes sense. So that means you need to welcome them and engage them as soon as you can. Within the first 24, 48 hours is actually best case scenario. The smaller your team is, the easier it is to stay on top of that. As your team gets bigger and bigger, personally, I do it weekly. So every week I have a system to welcome in new recruits that joined the past week. So, but you don't want to wait to do it monthly. If someone joins on like July 2nd and you're not welcoming them with a welcome packet until like August 10th, then that's like over a month that went by. So it's really important that you act on it as soon as possible. So most of this should be done within 24 or 48 hours, or desired on here I put is within the first week of them joining. So your direct recruits, you will welcome in a little bit differently than the whole team, but you do welcome in your whole team. This is direct sales. It's really cool. It's an amazing business model. And what is amazing about that is when a direct or a second level, when they recruit somebody, that person does become a part of your team. There's no ownership. If a second level says, "Well, this is my team," well, guess what? It's my team too. So that is, and if you don't like it, then don't be in direct sales, because that is what multi-level marketing is. So everybody that joins in first, second, third level is also a part of your team. You have contact information. You have every single right to contact them and email them and message them. Now, we have boundaries there because we want to be a big happy family, so we are going to work closely with our directs, but we foster everybody. And if I ever have a direct, and I have had it before, or a second level, that has come to me and said, I don't want you emailing my team. I don't want them even knowing you. That person who is saying that to me is typically a little selfish, is I guess the best word. They want to be the only contact for their team, and instead of thinking of what's best for their team, that the more people who love and shower and support them, the better. But there's definitely like maybe a jealousy factor, or whatever. I don't understand that thinking, but it does happen. So I actually have talked to Stampin' Up, and it is completely in your compliance and completely in your power that you are able and can and should be contacting your whole team. They can't say, don't contact my team. Now, if someone does say that to you and you want to respect their wishes, that's up to you. But when it has happened to me, again, I can only think of maybe once or twice in the whole 20 years. I have told that upline that I will absolutely remove anybody from my email list, anybody from the face. I'll remove anybody that asks me to. You cannot ask for them. But if your team doesn't want to hear from me, then they just have to tell me, remove me from your email list, or they can just, unsubscribe. So, but you don't have the right to not let them get my emails or contacts. So typically when that happens, though, that team doesn't even know that she is trying to keep them away from me. So, but I do. If anybody wants to be removed, they don't want team emails, they don't want to hear from me, I will absolutely remove them. But it has to come from their mouth, their words, their. So that is when it comes to about contacting your team. So, but your direct recruits, there are a few extra steps in there. We're going to start with that first. So I have 9 steps here that you would do with every recruit. Until you get really familiar with this, or even if then sometimes you get lots of recruits, so it's hard to keep track of, have I done this with this one and that with that one. It's good to maybe even have a checklist, so a new recruit checklist that you go through and make sure you've done everything with each recruit. So number 1 is with your direct recruits, as soon as they join, contact them and see if they want to set up a one-on-one. Like, I encourage that. So when everybody joins, if they join locally, if they join across the country, let's hook up on a phone call, or usually it's a phone call. I used to love to do it face-to-face with local team members, so you can still do it face-to-face as well. But on this one-on-one, it is just about answering questions. It's about getting their goals, again, getting them engaged, telling them how to get acclimated, and then obviously maybe even helping them set up their first class, or just basically a lot of it is answering questions. So contact them to set up that one-on-one, again, hopefully within 24, 48 hours. The second thing is to send them a welcome card and packet in the mail. And again, weekly is desired because you want to get them while their fire is burning hot. We send them a welcome email with a link to join the Facebook group because that's where there's going to be the most interaction. Then I personally add my new recruits to my Facebook group. I add them. So we still do the email link, but I add them to the group. My personal recruits. I don't do that for everybody else, just my direct recruits. That just requires that I have to be friends with them on Facebook, and I usually am. And if I'm not, I will go friend them on Facebook. We'll become friends, and then I'll add them to the Facebook group. The more people are involved on your Facebook group, the more that they're going to see you and the team as a value. So it's really important that you make a point to get at least all of your direct recruits on there. So I add them there, and then I always welcome them. So once they have to accept the request to join the group. Then I do a little welcome post. Welcome, my newest rubber queen, Karen, and I'll tag Karen, and everybody will pop in and say, welcome, welcome, welcome. So it's fun. So we do that. We welcome every new recruit that joins. Months like in March in celebration, it's crazy. Some days we'll be welcoming and 100 new recruits, during celebration or something. So it can be fun and pretty crazy. But I think it's motivating. It's really motivating for that person to feel welcomed, obviously. The other thing is it's motivating for the person who keeps welcoming new recruits. It's like, oh my gosh, how does she keep getting all those recruits? So it is inspiring for everyone. 6, add them to an email list if you have one. Personally, I just get the active email from my report every time I send out an email to my team. So that way it stays active. It's always the current people. Now, that is tricky is if you have somebody who has asked to not be on the email list, you have to make sure that you don't email them too. But I personally don't have an email list of my team. I just grab the emails from Stampin' Up! From my report every time I send out an email. So I know it's an active list. So, but you can add them to an email list if you have one and if you use one. Personally invite them to the next team meeting. They're going to get the email reminders like everybody else, but it's daunting. This is new. Like you need to say, hey, our next meeting is August 4th. Are you going to be there? Like I want you to join. Do you have any questions on how to join? So you need to text them, call them, message them, email them, private message them, but make sure you're getting a personal invitation to your new recruits to attend the next meeting. And you could do that for a couple months until it gets to be consistent for them. And then number 8, going over quick start dates with them. A part of the welcome packet that I'm going to show you guys is a quick start tracker that I give every new recruit. So this is one when you do that one-on-one call or when you contact them, you can go over that quick start tracker with them. And then the last thing I love to do with my new recruits, love to do it, and it's really important, is to help them with their first order. Getting on the first time is actually really overwhelming. If you've ever helped a new recruit before, they have to have like their routing number, their checking account information, like do you want to be on selecting to be on the demonstrator locator? Like it is overwhelming that first time that they log on. I know I Stampin' Up! Has to do that, but it's also the first time they're there, it can be really daunting. So it's really great for you to walk them through that and help them with that first order personally if you can, one-on-one, or maybe on a Zoom or over a phone call or something. But for my direct recruits, I really like to help them with their first order. Once they nail down that first order, then the floodgates are open, and then they order way, 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 way more often. But sometimes they don't ever place that first order because it's a little tricky to get in there, and people are scared to put like their social security number and stuff or put their checking account information, so it can be daunting. Now that is my system for my direct recruits. I offer that to everyone. They all don't take me up on the one-on-one call. It's usually only about 20%, and they all don't take up on my offers for a lot of things. Oh, I skipped the send a welcome video, so we're going to talk about a welcome video. I definitely do recommend one. Okay, so now for my whole team. So the whole team, this is their system. Is I send them a welcome packet and card in the mail, a handmade card. It's what we do. Number 2 is I send them a welcome email with a link to join the Facebook group. I send them the welcome video, welcoming them to the team, and I'll share with you my video. If you've been training with me for any amount of time, I've been teaching a welcome video for about 5 years now. So, and how I learned the welcome video is I can't even remember what it was, but I had joined a direct sales company just as a discount to get, I had something. And so I remember when I joined, whoever the leader was, again, it was so far removed from me, but they sent a welcome, email, and they had a video attached to it. And immediately I felt like I knew this person and was connected. And because I saw their face, I heard their voice, and I wasn't just a name. It wasn't just like a person's name in an email in print. It actually made the person very real to me. And even though I wasn't a part of that company to sell it or whatever, I had a lot of respect for that upline. And I didn't even know them, never met them. They lived states away from me. But that welcome video was so key in establishing a relationship with somebody who, you have never met before. So a welcome video, I think, is really important, actually. And then 4th, I add them to my email list if I have one. So that's really all I do with my whole team. And then of course I'll start emailing them and contacting them like I would the entire team. But I don't do one-on-one calls with them. I don't personally add them to the Facebook group. They have to add. Now hopefully my leaders are doing all of those things. They're doing one-on-ones. They're adding them to the Facebook group. They are answering the questions. They're going over a quick start with them. So my leaders should be doing these things. But I do just those 4 main things with the whole team. So what is in a welcome packet? Everyone's is going to be different. Mine is actually pretty so simple, and other people's can be way more. I will tell you that my welcome packet has evolved over the years. When my team was smaller, probably less than 100, I used to send quite a bit more. But now that it's grown and continues to grow, you have to have a system that you can stay on top of. So it's okay if you have a smaller group to maybe send some more than what I send, or I'm going to show you what I send. But just know that you will probably have to tweak and change that as your group grows. They might be becoming more expensive, or there's lots of different things that you have to take into consideration. So the first thing I do is I send a welcome card. And I'll post the sample of mine. It's really simple. And they get that welcome card. Inside, so I don't do a packet. I send a card that has all these things in there. And it all fits for one stamp. So you have to be really careful about that. Unless, again, I used to do packets. So they were more expensive. But that's, again, when we were much smaller. So the first thing I always include is a welcome letter. And again, I'll share with you my letter as a guide. A welcome letter should be no more than 1 page long. My welcome letter is a replication of my welcome email. They're almost identical because some people read emails and some people don't. So if they're not reading my email, then at least I know they're going to read the letter. So they're going to do one or the other most likely. Rarely do they do both of them. But at least I know that if someone didn't get the email, then they're definitely going to get the letter in the mail. So it is a welcome letter. It's just introducing myself. It's just, again, trying to get them engaged in the Facebook group, about the team meetings, and, just starting the process of becoming a part of the team. So I'll share with you the welcome letter. It's the same as the welcome email that I send out. They're almost exactly the same. But it's really important you keep it to 1 page. Because if it's longer than that, then it's just too overwhelming. Like some people send out pages and pages of welcome information, and then it gets very overwhelming, and it actually backs people away instead of bringing them in. So in the beginning, it's just about getting them connected. It's just about getting them engaged, okay? So anyway, I put this in there. It's my upcoming meeting dates, and we just cut it in half, so it's a little half sheet. And I'll usually give about the next 8 months of meeting dates, and we talk about the location of the meeting. And obviously now we're talking about them being on Zoom. So that is that. So all the upcoming, if you have a year's worth, you can get the year's worth of dates. I have the welcome letter that goes inside the welcome card. And then I put this quick start tracker in there. And I can share this with you. I do believe it's on the, obviously it was at one point on the demonstrator website. I don't know if it is anymore. Actually, they might not have this on there anymore, but I love it, so I'll share it with you too. But it helps them, like, when does their quick start? When's their first 3 months? When is their 6th full month? And then how they can actually cross off the bars as they reach, and then what they're going to have to sell, and then we'll talk about flex points. So I give everybody that. That's what I send everybody. Every single person on my team, all 1st through levels, gets those 3 things plus the welcome card. So I put number 4 on here. This is what I used to do, and I still do it periodically for some of my new recruits, not the whole team. But I love when people join, sometimes ideas are hard for them. So I love to send them like a stack of cards, like maybe 5 cards. I used to, at my card classes, I always would cut for like 10 extra, and then I would make up those cards, and then I would use those for all my new recruits. And it was just saying, here's some cards for you to copy, here's some cards for you to use, and here's some cards to inspire you. So I like putting sample cards in a personal recruits welcome packet. A new recruit training is incredible for your team. They're best done when you do them monthly. And you may do them for groups of 2 or 4 or groups of 10, depending on the size of your team. Desirably, you would do this once a month. Don't make it too overwhelming. You just keep it to about an hour long. You can also do this on Zoom right now and just record it and then share it for everybody who couldn't attend. But when they come, it's much better because they can ask questions. And face-to-face is also best because, again, they can ask you questions. You want questions. You want to answer their questions and concerns. So if you are going to be doing this live, then you can just do it the hour before your meeting. So if your meeting is from 7 till 8:30, my doors open up at 6:30. I would do my new recruit training from 5:30 to 6:30. And then people could get a snack, get a bite to eat, and then just visit, and then we start the meeting at 7. So you can do those on the same day so you don't have to take up more time. If you're doing a new recruit training once a month, you could, and again, with a Zoom, you could do your Zoom meeting from 7 till 8 or whatever, but you could do your new recruit training from, again, 5:30 to 6:30, something like that. Topics to cover in your new recruit training. This is the exact order that I go in. This is my exact agenda that I do. So the first thing I cover is how to engage with us. How do you get the most out of the rubber queens? I just as much want to keep them. So the people who stay around are the ones that are more a part of the group. So I talk to them about the team meetings and when to attend, and what they're about and how they can participate. I talk to them about the Facebook group and being involved in there, and that we want them sharing. We want them posting their creations and asking questions. Any resources that you offer. So I offer a resource. It's a blog where I put all of my online classes and projects. And so I share that with them. Like, use it, copy them. That's what they're there for. Nothing would mean more to me than to have you buy what you need from yourself, get your discount, and then copy. Go ahead. So go over any resources that you offer. So I also offer business training. So I don't automatically add everyone to that. They opt into it, and they can join whenever they want to. But I let them know that, like, this is if you want some help, we have a group within our group called the Business Builders, and it's just a separate Facebook group and a separate email list. And you'll get all the normal group stuff, but then you'll also get special stuff that's just business training. So I offer that resource. So I go through any resources that I offer and how they would tap into it. So how do they join that? How do they get involved? Then number 5 is I go over, or number 4, how are you, this is a big thing. Am I available as their leader, and how do they contact me? And when. So this is where I go over, I am here for you, absolutely, but I do have business hours because I also have a family and I do work my business full time. But my team is so important to me. So you can email me, you can ask on the Facebook group 24/7, and then I'll get back to you when I can. I, again, keep within my business hours. So if you do call me or text me or message me, past 5 o'clock or something, I'll get to you the next day. So I want them to know that I am available for them, of course, within boundaries. So I go over those boundaries with them. I talk about our team events that we hold, and I hope that they come, they're welcome, they're invited, and our team challenges. So we do challenges. Play along with them. We want you to do that. So I let them know that this is for them. Even though they're brand new, they can jump right into this stuff. And then I also talk to them about sharing with the group and how we support each other, and that we share our team motto. Like, this is a positive fortress here. And so we're here to just share and lift each other up. So we go over all that to begin with. Then I go over how do you engage with Stampin' Up. Like, you have my resources, but ultimately you have all of Stampin' Up resources as well. So I go over the 1-800 Stamp Up number. That if they asked me, like, how do I have an issue with an order, how do I fix it? I'll be like, why are you asking me? Ask Stampin' Up. So I encourage them, any questions to do with your ordering or product or problems or with anything to do with Stampin' Up, ask Stampin' Up. they have customer service people who are paid to sit by the phone and answer your questions. So they're open from 7 to 7 Mountain Time, which is 9 to 9 here. That's 12 hours. They're open every day. So they're there for you. So use that number. Number 2, I tell them about getting that free DBWS. Use that resource. It's a great resource for you. Try it out for free at least. And if you don't think you're using it, then you can get rid of it. I tell them about opting in for the online ordering and demo locator, but they have to opt in. They won't automatically be added. So I tell them that so people can find them on the demonstrator locator. And then a big thing is Stampin' University. So yeah, I offer support, but this is something you can dive into anytime you want to. 2 o'clock in the morning if you want, if you're a night owl. The Stampin' University is huge. There are so many resources on there. So we walk through, some of those resources that are on there. So you, as a leader, have to get on there and see what's on there. There's a ton of stuff to help encourage them on holding their first class, getting business cards. How do I get started? There's tons, 40 things in 40 minutes, and there's now they've added on the new sales cycle, which I have not dove into yet. So I can't talk about it yet because I haven't done it myself. But there's a new training program on there. So we want to also have them not rely just on you, but also to rely on Stampin' Up! And their resources. So on the number 5, I get them tell them about the demonstrator planner place. It's a great place for them to, again, great ideas and to share their ideas too. So that's my first 2 sections, if there's any questions. And then we go on about how do you get paid or how do you get your discount? They're both the same thing. So you get paid on every order you put in. You get paid 20%, or it can be considered a discount if you want to. But if you're selling to a friend or family member, you get paid. If you're selling to yourself, then it's considered a discount. But so I just explained to them, there's actually a compensation video and lots of resources for you in this area that I usually just use Stampin' Up's resources. And it's under demonstrator, on our demonstrator website, under business resources, there's a whole section called compensation plan. And so I think it's really important that they know that they can get paid to do this. And people don't realize that. I know I didn't realize it. When I joined, I got my first commission check, and I thought Stampin' Up! Kicked me out and paid me back for my starter kit because I screwed something up. I had no idea that I got money put into my account. I thought I really messed something up big time. So that was really fun and exciting to realize that I could actually make money when selling things to my friends or to my family. And then just for me, it's a discount. So, but they have to understand that, right? So how do they get paid? I want them to understand too, it's not just about a discount, okay? It's discount for you, but no one else gets your discount. My mom doesn't even get my discount. No one, you're not supposed to. It's against compliance to do continual discounting, so you cannot discount continually to anybody. You could lose your demonstratorship if you do, and you also shouldn't. You have expenses. You have to buy catalogs if you want to. There's things that you have to do, so it's good to make some money while you're doing that, even if it's just to your family and friends. Don't ever give your discount away. I also think it's really important that they know that they're a demonstrator, so they get their discount, or they get paid. They pay themselves. They can be a hostess too. Just because you're a demonstrator, you still can be a hostess. So you can host parties, host classes, and you get all the host rewards on top of your discount. And you're also a customer, so you can still put your orders in and qualify for celebration rewards or the bonus days or any of the promotions that Stampin' Up! Does. It is a huge benefit. Most companies do not allow their consultant team to partake in customer discounts or rewards. Those are just for that. We do, and that is a huge perk for hobbyists, and for us it helps me keep my business expenses down because I can use the host rewards to help offset a lot of the cost of my classes. It's a huge perk. Also, all the celebration benefits I get as a customer and then as a demonstrator, it's incredible that they allow us to do that. So next I talk about how do you sell because we are a sales company. How do you sell if you want to? So we talk about just stamping with people, inviting them over to stamp with you. Are you going there or going to retreats or stamp with people? And then encourage them to buy what you're using. So instead of saying, here, you can just use mine, or just showing them. Why not say, hey, you can buy it, I sell it, here's a catalog, let me show you, I'll put in an order for you. Again, do not discount it, and don't give your stuff away. Sell your stuff. So I tell them that. Again, you want to maintain staying active. You can do that by just simply stamping with people and having a few good customers, and then your own purchases. You could actually start to maybe even make some money. Kind of cool. Two, holding classes. If you want to eventually make money and sell more, classes are a great thing you can do. You can do them live or online. And I'll go through really quickly, very quickly. I don't want to overwhelm them. Is that there's pricing. Make sure you price your classes. Don't give your classes away. So many people just do classes for free or for $5 because they think they're just having fun. No, price your classes correctly. And that's $20 to come and make the cards, or it's free if they buy something. That will help you keep your sales. It'll help you meet your minimums. So always give your class for free if they buy over $25 worth of product. It's really important you teach this from the very beginning. Number two is hold your classes consistently, same time every month. That will really help with attendance, and it'll help you plan, constantly always planning at least that one class a month. Even my hobbyists do one class a month just to help maintain their hobby status. Number three, you get to get the host rewards, and you get paid, and you get those customers. And if you want to, when you have an order to put in, like for a couple customers or friends, go ahead and add your own on. So you can be a customer too, get your discount, and then increase your host rewards and increase your benefits. So feel free to play all the roles all the time. So we go over a little bit about classes. The third way to sell is just, if you want to, start a Facebook group. Start sharing your creations on Facebook and letting people know how they can purchase the products that you've used. You can do, Facebook Lives if you want to, and invite your friends, invite people to be a part of it. You can also set up booths at farmers markets and craft fairs. Right now, because of COVID, you can still do farmers markets. You can do anything outside. There's outdoor flea markets. You can set up booths and you can sell your retired merchandise. You can sell your cards, adhesive, kits. You can sell all of that stuff. And then also just start collecting people's names and inviting them to come to classes and other things. So we talk about that, like sell your stuff, go ahead. Number 5 is I encourage them to engage. If you want to sell, engage into our business builders. We have team trainings that we do at every monthly meeting and a program our group that I call the Business Builders. You join that. It doesn't cost anything, and it will just help give you ways throughout the year to be able to sell and to be able to grow this money-making hobby. So I tell them the different ways that they can get training. They can get training through our team meetings, our Facebook Lives, the videos that I do, and then our Business Builders. I also encourage them highly to become a Paper Pumpkin member and then just work on getting more Paper Pumpkin members. If they have them plus 6 people, they'll meet their quotas right there. And then they actually will make some money off each person too, like $5. That's really cool. So you can make $30 a month just by using Paper Pumpkin. And so I always encourage my new recruits to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and to try to get some subscribers with them. And number 7 is I try to explain to them that building customers happens one person at a time. You don't have to have these huge events or big home. I love home parties, but you can do them just with a few people at a time. You build customers one at a time. So if you even just did 2 little private stamping sessions with friends or family or neighbors or coworkers just twice a month, and you gained 2 new customers per month, after a whole year of doing that, you'd have 24 new customers. You'd have a real customer base. And so for all of us out there, not just new recruits, but for all of us, we have to learn. We get customers one at a time, and they will grow the more you do them. So everyone can achieve these, even if you join just for a discount. You can still do all of this stuff. Everything I mapped out is even for hobbyists. You just want to make some money doing your hobby. So we go over that. How do you sell? Those are some of the ways that I start off with new recruits. Next, we go over Quick Start. We go over promoting to Bronze Elite, and then obviously the 5% pay increase or the 5% discount increase once you hit that. We talk about They can buy their way there, sell their way there, and a combination of both. It doesn't matter, just get there. We talk about quick start because that helps them become qualified. As a leader, you get the perks for them becoming qualified, but then for them, it's their quick start. We talk about then after bronze elite comes silver. So I always give them what's on the horizon. So again, hobbyists reach silver all the time in my group, and we just start that in the beginning. I cover it briefly. We go over flex points and what those are and how they gather them and why they want to do quick start and earn flex points. And then we just talk about staying active. Again, these above are some of the ways that you can just stay active every quarter so that you maintain all the benefits of being a part of our team and all the benefits of being on Stampin' Up's team. So we want to stay active, and those are the ways that you can do it. Lastly, I go over about the opportunities for so much more. We talk about how you can actually make money doing this. We talk about you can earn trips as well. You can actually build a business. You can attend leadership events. You can travel. You can participate in incentives and challenges that we do with our team and from Stampin' Up. They do fun incentives as well. You can earn your own promotions. You're completely in charge of that. You can earn recognition for buying, selling, sharing, all of that if you would like to. At home, we don't get a lot of those things, so we love to do them here in our team. You can obviously stamping, creating, and playing, and getting paid to do it. It's an incredible blessing, and you can do that. It's so possible for anybody who really wants to do it. You can grow a team, and that will actually increase your money and your fun factor. You're going to have a team that you can be with and have fun with, and then also make some money off of them. You can jump into blogging and YouTube while you're crafting and creating, and it's super fun to share with people. It can start off just for fun, and then it could actually develop into something that could even help you make some money too. And then you could also have the opportunity to eventually hold and run retreats and stamp camps and classes and other events. Those are down the road once you establish some customers. So I just want to know these are the opportunities that are there for them if and when they're ready. If they're ready now or ready 3 years from now, whenever, these opportunities are there for everyone who wants them. Everyone is valued for whatever they bring to the table, and you are there to support whatever their role is. We want lots of happy shoppers, and we also want some business building, money making demonstrators, hobbies as well. So we're there to support both of them. I always end, and I let them know that no matter what their role is, I am there to support them. We want you to be a happy shopper. Shop away. Use your discount. We support that. Or we also will help and support and teach and train how to make this a money-making hobby. And I always remind everybody of our team motto and the fact that we run a positive fortress. And our community is an amazing place, and we share and lift each other up, and we maintain that integrity. And then I ask if there's any questions. And that is the quick run through. The best way to train, so that's the new recruit training, and it can be done once a month, and it's simple because it's the same thing every month. You can prepare once, and then you just repeat it every month and invite people to come in every month as well. The best way to work with your team members and a new recruit, to welcome in a new recruit, this is again for your direct recruits, is what I call the tag along. So have them work with you, have them attend a card class with you. I let them come to one of them for free if they've never been before. And I had them come early to help me set up and ask questions. I may even have them come that day and help me pack and prepare for it so they can learn the process of preparing for a class. I had them stay after to be able to ask questions and then also see the cleanup process. But the tag along is the best way for a new recruit to learn. You may even have a new recruit who wants to start doing Facebook Lives. Have her do one with you. Have her come to your studio during a Facebook Live time, and then she can join in as a guest, or she can just sit and watch you prepare and watch you do it. Maybe you have ones that want to run a retreat. If she wants to, have her come and see your retreat. Have her help. Have her be a helper, and then that way you're killing two birds with one stone. So the tag along. If you have a demonstrator in your team that wants to build, one of the best things to do is have them walk right beside you. And if they're long distance, then you can have them, again, maybe just do one-on-one call with them or something, or do a Zoom or something so they can actually see something in process. The biggest thing to understand about your welcoming in new recruits is not everyone is going to engage with you. Some people completely ignore me and never respond to a single email I send or anything, or a message or anything. That's okay. They don't want anything to do with me. They just want to spend and leave them alone. That's how I was with that other company. I didn't engage with them. I just wanted to buy my stuff. But I did watch. It was kind of fun. But I never engaged with any of them. Nothing was wrong with them. It just wasn't. It wasn't what I was looking for. So, but then there's other people who will engage and want everything you have to offer. I just focus on those and work for those who want me, and we work together. So don't take it personally if someone does not want to engage with you. Not everybody's going to. It may only be 50-50. So just keep doing what you do because you know you're supposed to do it, and look for the ones who want. And always put yourself out there. I offer everything to everybody. Who takes me up on it is up to them, right? Okay, so next I want to, the last few minutes here, I want to go over ways to inspire a hobbyist and guide them on that path to a money-making hobby, which again would be a business, right? So, but you have to start the path. We have to inspire our hobbyists. We have to want to create a path for them to follow that will start to build more, okay? So it's about building. It's not how they come in. It's about what we do once they're in there. So we get everybody engaged, everybody welcomed, everybody's valued, and then we create a path that is for a money-making hobby. So how do you do that? How do you inspire them? Number one is your make and takes at your team meeting are imperative, that they are not just a cute project. Make and takes are so important, and we'll cover that in another video. But they're there to teach your hobbyists how to do a class. They don't know. They have no idea. If they have no idea, they're not going to do it. But if you, month after month, give them sample classes, then they're going to be able to eventually do it on their own. So make and takes at your team meeting are imperative to inspire hobbyists. If anything, they come home with a class that they can share their friends and show their friends. Their friends are like, oh my gosh, I want that. Okay, I'll sell it to you. And the next thing you know, they're selling, and they're holding their own classes. So you have to give them the tools to be able to eventually lead into that. So I always tell everybody at the team meetings, take these projects, right? There's a class for you. Copy it or just show people, and they might want to buy it too. Use these projects. They're not just cute for you to make. They're actually useful for you to use too. They're both. We get to kill and be cute and kill two birds with one stone. I got to finish my thought. They are cute and fun to make, and they will actually produce something down the road if you want to. Number two, sharing stamping. This is something I've really, really focused on the last, I'd say, 8 years, is sharing stamping with my team, not just business, but also stamping. The more your team stamps and your hobbyists, the more they're going to buy. So sharing like Facebook Lives on your Facebook group, sharing Stampin' Up's videos, sharing samples, I share all of my online classes with directions and measurements and supply lists. The more they buy, the more they want to buy, the more they're going to stay active. The more that hobbyists buy and use, the more they say to themselves, I should really do something with this. Like, look at her. She's like, look at that girl. She's actually making money, and I'm a way better stamper than her. If she can do it, I can do it. So they're not comparing themselves to you, but maybe to each other, and that's a good thing. So we want to inspire them in stamping just as much as we do in product and buying. Like, I encourage my team to copy everything and use your discount and buy everything yourself. Go. That's very powerful. So that goes along with number three, sharing your classes with your team to inspire them to want to make them and buy the supplies themselves. If someone from my team purchases my class, there is no discount. Everyone pays the same. If they want all the stuff to come prepped and cut and ready for them, they buy the class. Now, if they want to copy my class and buy all their own stuff, then the tutorial version or the video version is free for them. I put it on a private blog that they can access, or you could email it out to them if you want to, but you want to keep it really exclusive to just your team members and only your active ones. Once they drop, they don't get that resource anymore, and they're going to miss it. So number four, incentives. The incentives we went over last week, those are so important to inspire hobbyists to want to do more. Hobbyists are competitive too. They're going to want to achieve whatever challenge and incentive you put out. So it's really important that I can see hobbyists. I have so many hobbyists that are silvers because I dangled a carrot. And they could share a kit with a mom or a sister, and they could certainly buy up to $3,000 or $3,600 in a year, or have friends that buy too. So incentives are huge to motivate hobbyists. Number 5, testimonies at meetings are stories and testimonies are so powerful to motivate each other. So always having other people share their story as to why they started Stampin' Up, or what benefits they get from it, or how they started classes, or why they do classes. And other people, hobbyists, will see themselves in your other team members and say, well, yeah, I feel that same way as her, and if she can do a class, I can do a class. It should not be, yes, you should share your story too, maybe once a year, but the other months, invite someone else to share their story, their testimony. Even have hobbyists sharing their stories and their testimonies. Ask them to demonstrate at the meetings. This gives them confidence. Have them demonstrate, and once they start demonstrating in front of their peers, then they're like, okay, I can do this. I can do this for my friends too. So encourage them to demonstrate, and then that will give them the confidence they need to possibly even then start doing their own classes and events. Encourage them to use their hobby. Encourage them to maybe start card ministries, sell their cards at farmers markets, sell their cards at work. Encourage them to make cards and donate to charities. There's so many charities that need cards. Nursing homes. Start your own program, charity, to make cards and donate to area nursing homes, or do ministry with it. Do women's fellowship groups, and do it. Use your hobby. If hobbyists use their hobby, then they feel valued, and they will continue to keep spending the money and staying active because they have a purpose. They won't. A lot of people in this business could care less about making money. I would say maybe 1% actually cares, maybe 2%. Even some of my biggest business people don't even care about any money at all. But they do this because it gives them value. And they will continue to buy because there's a purpose for their product and a purpose for their hobby. And so we want to encourage that within our team. I just put some ideas on here. Because again, the more they stamp and the more that they use their supplies, the more they're going to buy and feel valued, and that's who's going to stay around. Lastly, encourage them to participate in all your swaps and your creative challenges and your freebie Fridays and your show and tell tables. Encourage them to use their stuff, because the more hobbyists stamp and share and create, the more they're going to buy and the more they're going to feel valued. The more they feel valued, the more their hobby has value, the more they're going to spend, and eventually want to share that with other people and bring people in with them. So many of my team only does this because they want to do card ministries or work with different groups. I love those stories, and those stories are very powerful for everyone. So you want to continue to encourage that behavior within your team and with your hobbyists. Okay, there you go. Those are just 8 ways to be able to help create that path. And then, of course, having your business builders that they can eventually join. I remember one of my team members, Amy Ferlici, she'd been a hobbyist for 3-4 years, and she came to me and was like, I've got so much stuff. Either I have to stop buying or I have to do something with it. And I said, okay, let's do something with it. And literally within, I think, a year or 2 years, she was earning the incentive trips every year. Now she owns her own studio and does an incredible job. I have so many stories like that. Of people who joined and were a hobby for years, just buying their own stuff, and then realized, okay, I want to do this. And so this path, they can join the path at any time. Invite people to join the business builders and join you anytime they're ready to take it off to the next level. Rarely do they do it right away. They actually do it usually further down the road. But you're going to create the environment that encourages people to jump on the path to have a money-making hobby. And incentives are really important. That's why you don't dumb down your recognition. That's why you don't reward mediocrity, because hobbyists will actually push themselves to reach incentives and challenges and get on that path. So you always dangle your carrot where you want to lead them. All right, let's finish it up. Your homework. Schedule a new recruit training. Write down your system, add it to your systems book of how you are going to welcome your personal recruits, and then how you're going to welcome your whole team, and then that way you can stay up on it. The welcoming your team takes like 5 minutes. maybe 10 minutes, really. And so it could be done weekly. You just got to make it a priority to do that. The hardest part is just making the cards. And so if you make up a whole stack at once, then they're there for the whole year. You can also delegate bits and pieces of this. To be honest with you, for me, I have someone who does this every week for me because it was always falling through the cracks. It was always stressful for me. So I have somebody who lives like 4 hours away, but I send her my welcome list of names and addresses, and then she creates the cards, does the packets, and mails them out every single week. So I love that. And so it's okay. You can delegate it if you want to. And then I send out the welcome email, welcome video, and everything. So it can be done weekly and stay on top of. So delegate it if you have to. Update your benefits page on your blog. And then, let's see, ask one of your team members to do a testimony and share at your next team meeting. Go ahead and ask for the next couple months if you want to. Schedule your next year's worth of team meetings. Post it for your whole team to see, and then print it, and so you can put it in your welcome package. And then lastly, offer a tag along to your new recruits. A tag along for a card class, workshops, farmers markets, Facebook Live, stamp camps, retreats, whatever you're doing right now in your business. Reach out to some new recruits and see if they want to tag along with you so they can learn, so they can start mimicking it themselves. All right, thanks for being here. Again, if you have questions, we do every Tuesday, we'll be doing a Facebook Live where you can ask questions about any of the training that you've heard so far and add in today as well. All right, and it's on the leadership Facebook group that we started just exclusively for this training. So you can always ask on there, and then we'll cover it on Tuesday morning. Or I could also, if it's a quick answer, I can answer right there on the page. All right, you guys have a great day, great week, and good luck putting all of this into action. And again, the action is where the magic happens. Bye-bye.